have an amendment at the desk.
And the clerk will designate the amendment.
Amendment number 2, printed in House Report number 115-812, offered by Mr. Raskin of Maryland.
Pursuant to House Resolution 985, the gentleman from Maryland, Mr. Raskin, and a member opposed will each control 5 minutes. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Maryland.
Mr. Chairman, I rise in support of my amendment, which is offered in conjunction with the primary sponsor of H.R. 50, Representative Virginia FOXX, who I know has worked very hard on this legislation. I'm glad that Ms. FOXX has embraced the amendment because it does improve the legislation. The amendment would require the website posting within 5 days of any consultations that an agency has with non-federal parties during the development of regulatory proposals containing a significant federal unfunded mandate, as well as the website posting of any comments submitted by non-federal parties on such proposals within 5 days of their submission. I'm delighted that we've converged around this question of transparency in the regulatory process. Public rules should serve the public, and so the public should know what the ingredients are, what the discussions are that are going into the preparation and development of public regulations. So this is a consensus amendment, which is all about sunlight and scrutiny. Now, the idea of agency interaction with interested parties on federal mandates is a good one. In this case, I only wish that the bill required far broader and more inclusive consultation. As it stands in the legislation, early consultation is only required with affected parties within the private sector, including small businesses in state, local, and tribal governments, which are already covered under the Unfunded Mandate Reform Act. So the bill still operates in a slanted way. It does not require early consultations with representatives of other affected parties like veterans, farmers, law enforcement officers, community and religious groups, and so on. So I've told the sponsor that I think it's a mistake to keep it this narrow, and I only wish the Rules Committee had in its wisdom accepted my second amendment so we could address that shortcoming. But having said that, I appreciate the strong incorporation of the language on transparency and disclosure, and wish that at least in the future we can be more flexible about placing all affected regulatory parties on the same plane. I want to thank Representative FOXX for supporting this amendment, and I ask that all of our colleagues support it. I reserve the balance of my time. Oh, and I will yield at this point to the gentleman from Virginia.
I thank my friend from Maryland. I certainly rise in support of his amendment. It's a thoughtful addition. Certainly more transparency is a good thing. But as he suggests, it doesn't change the underlying fact that this is a flawed bill. It doesn't change the fact that it guts independent agencies. It doesn't change the fact that it broadly expands the role of the judiciary in what would be an executive branch rulemaking process. It doesn't change the fact that it basically gives unilateral authority to chairman and ranking member here in Congress to block rules, period. It doesn't change the fact that it gives the private sector an unprecedented role in rulemaking a priori. In a way that is absolutely against consumer interests. I know my friend from Maryland understands that. So I thank him for his thoughtful amendment. I thank him for yielding.
And I agree with that. And alas, I think there was an opportunity here where we could have gotten the whole committee together, but the bill does remain way too narrow in terms of addressing just part of the affected regulatory community and not the rest of it. And there's no reason to do it like that. Having said that, I am glad that we've got an amendment on transparency in the process that takes place, and I'm happy to yield back at this point.
Gentleman yields back. For what purpose does the gentlewoman from North Carolina rise?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I ask unanimous consent to claim the time in opposition to this amendment, although I am not opposed to it.
Without objection, gentlewoman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am pleased to support this amendment. This amendment requires a record of any consultation with a non-federal party and requires agencies to post any comments submitted by a non-federal party to their website within 5 days. Transparency is a bipartisan priority. It is a key feature of many regulatory process requirements. For instance, the Administrative Procedures Act generally requires federal agencies to publish their proposed rules in the Federal Register for all to see and to give the public an opportunity to comment. Rulemaking dockets and public comments are increasingly available for public inspection online. Groups such as the Administrative Conference of the United States have recommended that records of consultations and ex parte communications be disclosed and made a part of the rulemaking docket. H.R. 50 seeks to introduce greater transparency in the regulatory process, and this amendment is consistent with that split. I urge members to support this amendment. I thank the gentleman from Maryland for offering the amendment and for working with me to expand its application and increase transparency. Again, I urge my colleagues to support it and yield back the balance of my time.
Gentlewoman yields back, and the question is on the amendment offered by the gentleman from Maryland. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. The amendment is agreed to.